Hi, glad you're here. I've been a police officer nearly 25 years, and I have a few things that I'd like to talk with you about orders for protection, particularly serving orders for protection, and really how it should look. When serving an order for protection, really my focus is on safety. Certainly I'm thinking about your safety and what you need to accomplish to make sure that you and your children are safe. But I'm also thinking about my own safety as a police officer. And because of that, it's a benefit to me and a benefit to you to learn a little bit more information from you before I serve that order. Many police officers across the country will serve an order for protection really almost like a mailman, where they'll find the recipient of the letter, and in this case, find the recipient of the order for protection, and leave that person with that piece of paper and just walk away, in a way almost as if they don't have any idea or any care about what the letter, if you will, contains. Ideally, the officer will explain the order for protection to the person who they're serving and let them know that the order is between the judge and them, and explain to them very clearly that the order states that you are to have no contact. And no contact means by phone, in person, through emails or text messages, or messages through friends, or to be at your place of employment, or to come to your home. And I want to make sure that the person is very clear that that's what the order between the judge and them is about. Ideally, I'd like to meet with the individual who I'm serving this order for. So in an ideal setting, you would have an opportunity to meet with the police officer who's going to be going out and serving this order. I would want to know things like the best place to find this person. What's the best location to find him and at what time of day? Do they have access to weapons? Do they have access to firearms or something else that might cause me harm? What's their likely reaction? Does he know I'm coming? When I serve an order for protection, I believe that it's really important for you to know a couple of things. One is that the order has been served. Secondly, I want to talk with you about his reaction to the order when I serve him with that order. That may be an important part of your safety as we move forward. I worked on a case one time where two people had been living together for a great deal of time, and during their relationship, the woman's mother had died. At her mother's funeral, her mother's coffin was completely entombed with white roses. After the funeral, the couple continued to live together for nearly a year. And she related to her spouse, her significant other, that every time I see a white rose after my mother's funeral, I associate that with death, and I associate that with dying. And when the officer then went out to serve an order for protection on that man, his reaction was, well, it seems that I need to buy her some roses, some white roses. To the officer, that really meant nothing. But in that situation, the officer had an opportunity to talk with the petitioner and to let her know what his reaction was. And certainly it had a very different feeling and a very different meaning to the person like you, who may be the petitioner on an order for protection, than it would have to the officer. White rose really made nothing to me, but it meant a great deal regarding the safety of this woman, and it made a great deal of impact upon how we moved forward in this case. In many communities, processes are not in place where you would have an opportunity to speak with the officer beforehand. But I would really encourage you to take an active role and to see if you can accomplish that. I would encourage you to try to go out and meet with the officer who's going to be serving the order, or to meet with the police chief in your community, or to meet with the sheriff in your community, and to let them know those things that I identified, to let him know, that officer that's going out there, that you're concerned about their safety as well, too, and to let them know what his reaction is likely to be, to let him know about his access to weapons or to firearms, or other things that may cause the officer harm, and to certainly let them know where you may be contacted. And I would encourage you to ask for that officer to contact you once the order has been served, and to talk with you about the reaction of that person once they have been served. All of that information is us working together to make sure that you can be safe and the officers can be safe, and that we can serve this order in a way that's going to make sense for you and for the safety of you and your children.